Hello, good people, and welcome to another thrilling, stinging episode of Off the Deep End. I am your host, Braden, Arbitrary Water, Redacted, the soft-spoken little angel boy of this RPG party. Joining me is the fiery redhead, Chris Zombie Pie Redacted.
Hey, considering that we're talking about RPGs again, Jesus saves and takes half damage. Because Jesus doesn't have 9 levels in Monk for improvised evasion.
No, Jesus did not take Rogue or Monk. So he doesn't get evasion. But also joining us, Adam Borgmaster Redacted, still on assignment, quote-unquote, being a father. So I have wrapped in another guest, the soft-spoken girl next door of this RPG party, GabrielCantor.
Greetings.
Gabriel, tell us about yourself. What's your deal?
I used to stream, but then I got a full-time job again, and so now I only stream when a friend of mine forces me to play Dark Souls games.
Yeah.
Although that might change soon. But yeah, I'm a big JRPG dork. Most of my time streaming was 100%ing Square Enix games.
Yes.
So
that's where I followed you.
Yeah.
And we're also and also in the Giant Bomb Discord.
Yes.
So yeah, they can follow you on Twitch at GabrielCantor whenever you are forced to play Dark Souls.
Yes, whenever I get to Dark Souls 3, which will be after my friend finishes Rebirth, which I'm forcing them to play, and then we just go back and forth.
Yeah.
Because
that's a nice short 100 hours.
Yeah, well, we're almost done. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But they're a child and they've never played a lot of major game franchises, so it's been a journey. They've never played Metal Gear. And so that's a journey.
Yeah. Oh boy. You can support us, Deep Listens, at the patreon.com/deeplistens. $1 will get you access to our Discord where you can listen to our bad opinions on video games. $3 gets you access to the Oji-san cast where you can listen to our bad opinions on anime.
Which we have to record an episode.
Yeah, we have to record that episode.
Probably next weekend. Let's go with next weekend.
Probably by the time you hear this.
Yeah.
Or near abouts.
What is the current anime pick?
We're watching Welcome to the NHK.
Time to get super depressed by the final episodes of an anime.
Yeah. I love my mid-2000s paranoid seinen. Speaking of mid-2000s, Riviera, The Promised Land.
Boy, howdy.
Did not come out in the mid-2000s. It came out in the early 2000s.
The early aughts.
The early aughts. So, Sting, we are doing the Summer of Sting. Sting Entertainment is a video game company that is still around, still making video games, but for the most part,
It's mostly remakes and remasters of
or
previous
they
Steam
are
games.
they're doing a lot of stuff for Idea Factory these days.
Yeah, their most recent release was a Switch port of personal favorite of Braden and I, Dokapon Kingdom.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Sting started in 1989 making making what is it? PC Engine
TurboGrafx
games.
16.
Yeah, making PC Engine games, including Jets and also the Jetsons' Invasion of the Planet Pirates for the Super Nintendo.
Sure.
But the thing, in 1998, they made Baroque, and Baroque is kind of the start of them making all of these off-kilter kind of experimental JRPGs that I find interesting enough to do an entire feature on, because this game is I feel like a pretty good start to what they're doing. They also they co-developed the Utaware Rumono games.
Yeah. Seminal works
So
of the tactical visual novel
yeah,
genre. That they played a major role in helping out Leaf.
yes.
Leaf.
So yeah, a storied history, but more importantly, a bunch of weird video games, all of which I feel like are very off the deep end coded. And this is no more obvious than Riviera the Promised Land, a game that originally came out in 2002 for the Wonder Swan Color.
Yep.
The Wonder Swan.
Hey, it was
Was-
super popular in Japan.
It
It
was,
was a success
yes.
in Japan. It was a
Is the
genuine
Wonder
success in
Swan?
Japan.
Yeah.
So back in the day, Bandai decided to pick a fight against Nintendo in challenging
Oh.
their monopoly with the handheld system route. But they decided we're only going to do this in Japan. We cannot afford to do this anywhere other than Japan. And oddly enough, it actually kind of worked out. They sold over 3 million units of both of the versions of the Wonder Swan. The black and white edition sold slightly better than the color edition. And it had genuinely good support
Where
for domestic developers in Japan.
Square ported Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy 2, and Final Fantasy 4, and the versions of Final Fantasy 1 and 2 that were on the Wonder Swan are the versions that are on the Game Boy Advance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They just
I think that is the only context in which I've ever heard of the Wonder Swan, and so I assumed it was much older.
So the other thing is to point out that Gunpei
Gunpei
Yokoi is
Yokoi.
forced out of Nintendo after he was forced to take responsibility for the Virtual Boy.
Right.
He goes to Bandai and is sent to, of all places, the Tamagotchi division, and is like, "What if we took the Tamagotchi and turned it into a handheld?" And they were like,
Yeah.
"You know what? Let's give it a shot." And
And
they did okay.
they did well enough. And yeah, there's a lot of it's a neat little thing. It's like the Neo Geo Pocket.
Right.
Similar energy, where it had a decent amount of support, but unlike the Neo Geo Pocket Color, it never came out here, and it's just kind of a weird footnote. But in terms of like ill-fated handhelds from the late 90s, early 2000s, it's definitely several steps above, say, the Nokia N-Gage.
Or the Atari Lynx.
Or
The
the
Sega
Tapwave
Nomad.
Zodiac.
Yeah, the Tapway Zodiac.
Just saying words at this point.
Yeah.
God,
We're
gonna be.
Yeah,
Braden, you and I are gonna be old enough to where you and I can only make jokes about the Tapwave Zodiac and the Sega Nomad.
See, Gizmondo jokes are too obvious. Anyway, Riviera came out in 2002 for the Wonder Swan. It was then ported to the Game Boy Advance in 2004, then ported again to the PlayStation Portable in 2006, That version is the basis for the version currently on Steam, which is the one I played.
Same.
And yes, Gabriel also played. Chris, you decided to raw dog it on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, I played the Game Boy Advance version of this game. I would say don't be a hero, play the Steam port.
The Steam port that lets you hold more than 15 items.
I don't know if either
And
of you,
save
any of you,
anywhere?
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you have ever seen what the Game Boy Advance version looks like. It is like flat colors without line work.
Yeah.
It ain't good. I'll put this in our voice to text section right above where we're hosting this podcast. But I didn't hate the original art, but
Yeah.
boy howdy, not having line work in flat shaded characters was a choice.
Yeah, that top one is from the
Original version of the
from
game.
the
The
Wonder
bottom
Swan,
version
and
is
then
what I had to
and
look
then-
at.
So
don't
there's
play
a lot
the
of
GBA version.
There's
is
a
what I
lot
would
of
say.
voice clips in the GBA version as well.
Yeah, and imagine trying to have voice clips using the GBA sound system, which is already bad. Like Braden and I have already made jokes. Think back to the Tales of Fantasia GBA port. Pile hammer.
Yeah.
Pile hammer. Pile hammer.
Yeah. They
Those of you that
translated
know, you know.
Ragnarok as kangaroo.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
This a legend of localization, the Tales of Fantasia GBA port. So so this game has been around. It is I would say it's cult classic adjacent. Definitely enough that it got ported a bunch of times.
And ported ported multiple times across
Yes.
generations. The
Yes.
easiest version for our listeners is probably to find either the
Steam.
Switch port or the Steam port.
Yes.
So
It's not on the Switch.
someone at Sting or Bandai cares about Riviera: The Promised Land.
Yes. And I think the other notable thing about this game before we get into it is this was published by Atlas in the US, and this is definitely the period of time before Atlas was fully in the Persona mines, and they were still publishing a lot of other companies' weird Japanese games, sort of like Agitek.
Yeah.
And I think that the fact that it came out over here is pretty novel and interesting in and of itself, because this game is funky. Gabriel, how does Riviera: The Promised Land distinguish itself from you are a child in 2004, and you're like, I want a game for the car ride to Nana's house.
Yeah, like thinking about it in that context, because something I'm going to just assume is that the original handheld versions of this, you could not save at any time.
I believe you could.
Okay. Because that's the thing that feels like it almost breaks the game, and so I assumed, given that they also give you a save point at the house, I assumed that was a concession made later. Because otherwise that save point at the house kind of just makes no sense. But yeah, it's a like level-based score attack JRPG.
Yes.
Which is novel.
They streamlined the concept of a dungeon crawler and the dungeon, and like a Japanese RPG style dungeon crawler into basically a time attack game or a score attack.
Yeah.
Where you have a party of eventually you get 5 characters. You can bring 3 of them into battle with you. But you are not like manually moving around environments. You are just moving room to room. and switching between movement and investigation. But if you want to investigate objects in the room, you need to use points that you earn from doing well in battle.
Honestly, the
So,
moving room to room mechanics almost feel like something that was designed for a phone game, even though that's impossible.
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely got that energy to it where they tried to streamline it to the bare essentials. It's not quite what's it called? Dungeon encounters. The square game where it's literally just a square grid map.
Yeah.
That game's fascinating, but it is on a similar wavelength.
It reforms the JRPG template in some interesting ways, and yet it doesn't fully boil out some of those traditional JRPG standbys. Like, it almost feels like this game doesn't need to have the designated sections where you're encouraged to grind, considering what the combat and gameplay is like. And the fact that it is technically kind of like a Persona adjacent dating sim game on top of being a strategy tactical turn-based role-playing game. But that stuff is still there. And that's kind of what
Yeah.
makes it interesting but also weird.
Yeah. So the way I would describe this game is when you are doing combat, you pick 4 items to bring into combat. And the items are basically the 4 action commands you have for that combat encounter. So, you have 3 characters. You can only bring 4 items. The items have limited uses and durability. And in the original versions of the game, you could only carry 15 items total. So you were encouraged to very much burn through them. And when a character uses an item they are proficient with enough times, they get basically like a limit skill with it, and they also get like a stat increase, and that's how you level up more or less, is by mastering items in a very Final Fantasy IX sort of way. There are plenty of other JRPGs where a lot of progression is built around mastering items. Tales of Berseria does something similar, but each character has different items they like to use, and even some characters using the same items will use them differently. So they all have their own little roles.
Right, like the wizard girl, when you try to use a bow, her attack is try and shoot,
Yes.
which is pretty good.
Yes. Yes, and like when the wizard girl uses a magic staff, it's a ranged attack. When the green-haired girl, Fia, uses a staff, it's a healing spell. And when the main character, Ein, who is very much the Yuri Lowenthalist protag coon around.
Boy, is he.
We'll get into that. But he just bonks him with the staff. So that's one item used 3 different ways. And so there's a lot of weird shit that the game plays around with that. There are items that you get from doing battles well that are often kind of universal. Like, here's a debuff. It's a debuff spell for the enemy. It's this gross green slime.
I don't think I used that stuff.
Yeah.
At all.
But yeah, Chris, how would you describe this game's combat with those stipulations?
Well, it's not just the stipulations to the combat. It's also like related to the combat is the whole way in which this game depicts a battlefield, right? Like it's completely unlike what most JRPGs would do. Instead of like you being freely able to move, you're kind of like affixed into a position, and there are stages of in which you have a designated number of encounters before you're able to progress from one stage or chapter to the next. But to a degree, it's kind of a tactics game. It
Yeah.
really is a tactical JRPG without being a traditional tactics JRPG. You essentially choose between an attack or magic formation. There is advantages depending on your party composition of going one way or the other. For example, if you pick magic formation, your magic users are going to have a shorter recharge time.
Oh yeah. By the
But
way, there's a little bit of action time economy thrown in just for good measure.
Mhm. Which kind of gave me some like tactics ogre vibes with like how you do your formations. Um, and then, like you said, you have to choose items. You can only have 16 depending on
Well,
which
yeah.
version of the game you
If
have.
you do the
In
PC
my version of the
version,
game, there's no method of storage, so your 16 is your 16.
yep.
So live and die by that. So the it's weird to say this, but the greatest amount of analysis paralysis that you will have with this game is not actually during the combat, it's during the prep towards combat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for people that aren't ready for a non-traditional JRPG, that's going to be the biggest roadblock for them. Like the actual brick wall is wrapping your mind around. The most important part is the prep and like procking and equipping and setting your characters up for success. And I kind of thought that was cool because when you have a plan and you were able to execute upon it and then immediately see the fruits of your labor, that felt great. But then there are times where you kind of thought you had a good idea and it kind of blew up on your face. And then you kind of have to start all over again.
And
Or,
yeah, you can start the battle over
or
like
in your case, Braden, you go into a battle thinking that you're ready, and then it's like, oh wait, no, the game's telling me that I need to grind a little.
or I need to just grind out a couple of these items so that I have slightly better stats.
Items. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I got to the point where I started just doing that anytime I got a new thing.
It's weird because yeah, the game does not pull its punches.
No, it will cave your teeth in if you're not ready for things. Especially if you're trying to like respec a character, because I guess we have to talk about the skill system in this game because there's
Yeah.
positives and negatives to how this game handles skills. If you go into a battle and you realize that you don't have the like most efficient skill to deal with the challenge, you really do start at level 0 and it's basically live
Well,
and
yeah,
die.
it's definitely like before each battle, the game will tell you like, hey, these enemies use these attacks, or these enemies are weak against this element. And so you get a little bit of guidelines, but there's still, especially once you get past the halfway mark, it definitely turns into uh you're gonna tinker around a little bit.
Yeah, and then especially if you're, being crazy and going for like the S ranks and stuff.
Yes. And you need to finish enemies with the basically the limit break equivalents if you
The
want a
one
higher
thing
grade.
the one thing that I will give this game credit for, and I realized that some people I checked the game FAQs for this game when it came out, and the thing that some people hated at the time, but I actually think it's a good idea, is the fact that the enemies can use a limit break system against you.
Yes.
So they have 3 different states: normal, rage, and max. And they gain new abilities depending on what their meter is at. At normal, they only can do normal attacks. And then after you wail away on them, but you don't kill them, they get new abilities to deal with the fact that you've been beating them over the head with a stick repeatedly,
Yeah.
and they're able to do more stuff. I actually think that system is kind of like a good idea because you are incentivized as a player when you're in a challenge or when you're in combat, deal with your shit as quickly as possible. And so you really do need to plan like what's the most efficient path to deal with this thing that I'm dealing with or this group of goons that I'm dealing with.
Yeah. And you can see why. You can see why this game received, let's say, mixed reviews when it came out. It got a bunch of Nintendo Power gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
That's brutal from Nintendo Power.
GameSpot whereas gave it an 8.7.
Yeah, that would probably be closer to where I would give this game.
Yeah.
I think that the combat, and Gabriel, maybe you can chime in. I think that the big annoyance is some of these systems are way too opaque and not transparent at all, and that felt like it was providing an additional challenge that was completely unnecessary.
I feel like I sort of grokked it all, pretty quick. Or it's just like, maximizing like, the near and far stuff and all that kind of and everything. Like I feel like I'm trying to think if there's anything I really struggled to learn, I guess, with this game, like mechanically, which maybe there was stuff I just straight up didn't notice.
I don't
which is
feel
also
like
very
this
possible.
is a game with a lot of. I think this game, to its credit, while it is like off kilter and different, I feel like it is not obtuse.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing that I would say is it took some time getting used to the fact that I could give an item to each character and they could be the same class, but I would unlock a completely different ability
Yes.
with each character. Like Sierra
Yeah.
does extra damage with a magical attack, whereas Fia is going to get a better heal ability.
Yeah.
That I feel like the game could have been a little bit better about communicating and being a bit more transparent about. But
think
I do agree.
I did
I do
also
agree
because the Steam version does just have a manual, a PDF manual, which I think I did go through like basically as soon as I started, because possibly for that exact reason of it not necessarily explaining stuff great.
Yeah.
And that actually helped a lot.
Yeah. It definitely takes a little bit to on-ramp you. But yeah, so it's like the combat is surprisingly in depth compared to, the dungeon exploration, which is intentionally streamlined. I should mention they're basically QTEs
Yeah.
when you are exploring dungeons and trying to avoid traps.
I abused the save anywhere a lot
Yeah.
on some of those, especially early on.
I have fast reflexes. But yeah.
It's mostly the one that's like the what is it, like Tidus's overdrive in
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X that just goes back and forth and you have to stop it in the right
Yes.
spot.
Yes, you have
That
to stop
one was a
your-
real mess.
Your Mario Golf
Yeah.
timing.
Just
Yeah,
poison gas one, I think.
that's right. So yeah, it's do we have anything else we want to say about like the exploration and combat elements?
Interesting that a lot of the backgrounds for an entire zone are exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, they needed more space for those voice clips.
Yeah. I forget. I think it's like the second area you go to where I realized that it's like, oh, these are all the same background.
Yes.
This is making this a little confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
And-
ultimately the combat is a puzzle RPG. You need to
Yeah.
figure out which items to use to beat which enemies quickly.
Yeah.
Otherwise it gets increasingly harder. For every turn that you are not killing every motherfucker on the screen, it gets progressively and exponentially hard.
It
Yeah.
very
So-
much became one of those games for me where the regular enemy battles were harder than the bosses.
Yes.
Because
Yeah,
when you can just
and-
wail on one guy, it gets really easy.
And as much as I like the way that items work when they proc correctly, I have to just advise people. I think that this is a cool game. I recommend it. I recommend you at least check it out. Use a guide because there are so many missable items in the game, and every item of any utility later in the game, it just is going to cascade into each other, and you're
Yeah.
just going to have more time limits on things, and it's going to get way more stressful. Find out where the best items are. Find out when you pick them up. Make your life so much easier. Don't be a hero. Like the missables can really, really screw you over, especially with the GBA and PSP version.
But yeah, this is it's a strange game to play, and especially I feel like in the context of other GBA RPGs, especially the ones that were coming out in the US. This is definitely a weirder take than your Golden Sun: The Lost Age, or your let's see, what else would have been out in 04? Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where all my experience is. Like
Yes.
before doing this, I had literally never heard of Sting.
Yes. They are not.
I would say if we
they never had their Atlas moment. They never.
I don't know. Like, if you were making your JRPG developer iceberg, I feel like they're not all the way at the bottom, but they're
No.
pretty like they're a couple of steps. They're at
They're
least
not-
one step beyond the middle. Like they're intermediate JRPG developers.
Yes, they are not the people making bonkers crazy Windows only Taiwanese RPGs with insane sprite work.
But there is an
show up
element
on-
of inside baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely Sting is definitely a let me tell you about Two Heart 2 Dungeon Travelers, which, in case you're wondering, is a dungeon crawler based on the characters of beloved dating sim Two Heart 2.
Fantastic.
Dungeon Travelers 2 was refused from Steam for reasons I'm not entirely sure. But you can get it on the Vita.
Dungeon Travelers 2?
Yes.
Okay. There's just too many twos and they couldn't deal with it.
Yes. But yeah, so in comparison to this game's gameplay being very off-kilter, I would say its storytelling is very traditional. Except for how much voice work there is. So in the GBA version, there are a lot of voice clips. Like the Wikipedia page says over 200. And then when they brought it to PSP, they said, let's just do full voice acting. Which I think is amazing, because this game is one of the most pure and distilled concentrations of mid-2000s anime dub you've ever seen in your goddamn life.
That was maybe the most charming thing about this game for me.
Yes.
I have a huge nostalgia for that very specific area of anime
Yes.
voice acting, and yeah.
Yes,
It
I
worked for
also
me.
watched a lot of Toonami.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I hear Yuri Lowenthal, and I'm like, oh, that's Sasuke. I don't think of him as Spider-Man.
No.
Lord,
Him being
no.
Spider-Man is weird. He's an anime boy.
He's Sasuke and he's Yosuke.
Yeah.
So, as the only person that apparently didn't play a version of this game that is fully voiced, even I have to say, the GBA version having over 200 voice clips, even if it's not fully voiced, blew my goddamn mind. because I have not seen this amount of voice acting and voice clips in a GBA game. So you can't fault Sting for not putting in money in this game, because they sure did shoot for the stars with the production
Yeah.
values. And when we eventually talk about the fact that this game has goddamn multiple endings, like
Yep.
they were cooking. They were cooking.
They were cooking.
And in terms of the characters, like, yeah, some of them are stereotypes and stand-ins, but most of these characters are at least memorable. Like,
There's
in as
at
much as
least,
they're
I think the script definitely punches a little bit above what would otherwise be like I would say a fairly standard harem adjacent JRPG. The main
Yeah.
character, his name is Ein. He is a grim angel, and he is tasked with destroying Riviera. But then he gets bonked on the head and meets two cute girls, and he's like, "What if I saved Riviera instead?"
A regular Goku.
Yeah, just a absolute dingus. So yeah, there are 5 characters in the game. Only one of them is male.
Yep.
yeah,
There's
it's a harem.
also it's dating sim adjacent for sure. In fact, I would say more than adjacent, because each girl, in fact, has a hidden affection stat that determines your ending.
Yep. And I assume also the lead up to the ending in a way that
Yes.
is a little weird.
Yep. So yeah, there are 4 girls. There's Fia, who is kind of the nice, caring girl next door. She's the one who has healing spells, and also she likes to use rapiers. There's Lena, who is the childlike one, and you can tell because she speaks in the third person in that Japanese anime way, where if you want to convey that a character is immature, they don't use a personal pronoun, they just use their name. By the way, here's the other thing about the voice acting is you could just switch it at any time, so you can listen to every single line in Japanese and English. It's very fun. I love that. I love that I could just do that.
Right, because you can't just go to like the log or whatever and just replay
No.
voice lines.
Yeah. So there's Serene, who is she's kind of the tomboy of the group. She has wings and she uses scythes. And then there's Sierra, who is the witch, who is kind of the ditzy older sister type, and she likes the cat, who is Ein's familiar.
Yeah.
Right. What was that? There's that thing in the options about the cat's voice lines.
Yes.
Don't really know what that was about.
It's very funny to hear that voice actress fully voice out the meow meow meow, which once again just feels like the correct choice when localizing. And I would say there's nothing super mind-blowing here. I think the characters have decent enough group dynamic with each other. How do you feel?
I was actually shocked by how much personality was easily communicated with their very simple and well done line drawings. The expressions with some of these portraits gets the job done, but like there's a large grouping of supporting characters and monsters that just I thought built up the immersion and this universe when there's really not that much meat on the
No.
And you know, I as much as I wish that there were more environments that you fought on, when you're not in a dungeon, you have the option to like choose various destinations and meet different local characters. And so there are little touches here and there to add in some personality. The problem, obviously, I have when you're kind of like exploring your environments is just it's clunky, it's sometimes slow, and the backtracking is debilitating and just
It's I mean, it's not a long game.
no.
How
No.
long to beat says 25 hours? It's less than that, especially
Yeah.
given the PC version has a turbo button.
Yeah, I have 20 and a half.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Which just kind of like leads to the question of like with the navigation through the dungeons being room based, like the mini map is mostly clear about that regard, and there is some forking and backtracking. So why have wrong turns in the first place?
Because
They
a
grade you at the
dungeon would
end.
have wrong turns.
Like this game for me should just be linear, almost like a Final Fantasy X.
Or Final
Just have
Fantasy
me walk
13.
forward. Well, more 10 because that's a
Yeah.
good game. But yeah, just have me walk forward.
Yeah.
Just have me walk forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I assume it's basically because at the end the grades do count like how many turns you took, which counts going between rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I think an A is the highest I ever got on that. Because
Yeah, I never got above
was
it.
going to explore everything.
So this leads us to like one of the reasons why the game I looked this up, and one of the reasons why the game sometimes docks you. And this might actually be my actual least favorite part of this game. There's word puzzles. There are some puzzles in this game.
Oh
the
my
Lost
god.
Woods.
Oh my
puzzle.
god.
The Lost Woods is maybe the worst level in this game, but like
that puzzle, I was tired, but I'll say right now, I was tired. I made the mistake of starting my stream late, but that I felt humiliated by a puzzle in this GBA game.
I feel so vindicated by all this because that also made me just feel stupid.
I just had to consult Senor Game Facts.
Yes.
Because I had enough.
Like the thing that frustrated me about it was I felt like I figured it out and then looked it up and felt like it was the same thing I had found. But then when I followed the guide that I found, it worked. But then what I was doing was not. And I still don't actually know what the difference was.
So we should probably explain what the most notorious part of this level or this game is, which is the forest maze.
It's like
puzzle.
a Lost Woods maze. It's
a Lost Woods maze. The gimmick is that the player has to use these very vague clues on signs as hints as to what is the correct direction you need to go in. And you need to decipher these hints, which is the actual bad part. And the problem is that it's also color based. So for example, spring, which is depicted as like blooming flowers, means you need to use purple, right? And then summer, I think, was green. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I memorized this. Summer was green, autumn is orange, winter is. And I strongly recommend for those that end up playing this, you should have at least 2 trigger points before entering this game or this sequence. Because all of the directions are from the beginning screen, which is spring, which ends up acting as the main hub. And yeah, this isn't the only word puzzle in this game, or puzzle in general in this game. I thought they all sucked, but this one's not easy, and it's a bad, poorly communicated part of the game.
Yeah, I actually still have all of my notes from it written down right in front of me, which just are a real mess. It's almost like when I was playing Tunic. But I'm glad to know it was not just me.
No, it wasn't just you. I felt like an idiot.
Woof.
And yeah, so there are definitely a couple of like neat little like level gimmicks, like in the fourth area. There's a bit where the water is rising, and so you have only a certain number of turns
Yeah, I messed that up pretty bad.
Yeah. So yeah, they're doing stuff. They're doing interesting stuff, and I think it all comes together pretty well. I think the story is very whatever. Which girl did you end up with?
Serene.
Yeah, I got I ended up with Serene as well. Apparently, if you get every girl's affection above a certain point, but but have Sierra's slightly higher, then you can end the game with the cat turning into a cat girl,
Oh.
and she's the secret love interest.
Of course.
Which
I actually don't think that, like, I get that there's a relationship system and that's part of the reason why there are multiple endings, but I didn't like the fact that there are different endings. And the fact that these endings are not about winning the game and performing all the strategic and tactical things, but instead, like, who did you talk to and give a gift to?
yeah,
Like, I get why you do that. Like, this game, to a degree, is almost a visual. No, it is a visual novel with like a relationship system. But I don't know. I don't know why you. Well, I do know why, but I don't feel like it's to the game's benefit to deprive the player of like emotional catharsis, because if you do go with Serene, you literally don't learn anything else about the other girls, like or very little
yeah,
of like how the rest of the cast. It's like, oh, you dated Serene. That's the only
It's-
character where you're gonna get this like emotional denouement or catharsis.
Yeah.
for it.
Almost that honestly that just reminds me of like how I feel about like Three Houses.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Well, the problem with Three Houses, as we've talked about, is the fact that you got to play that fucking game 3 times
Yeah.
to get that catharsis.
And where it's just
that
like
sucks.
the other characters on their sides are just like, I know nothing about what the deal with this person is.
Yep. Well, please look forward to me having
Yeah.
feelings about Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave in about 3 months.
Yeah. Right, and
When
then
I play through all 4 story routes.
Like, if they had gone more of the Persona route, where it's like, I can learn the denouement of the people that I didn't romance on top of getting my, little cherry on top romance, I can at least, like, okay, fine, that's fine. But the fact of the matter is if you hard lock yourself into a relationship, that's the only conclusion you really get. And that's the part I did not like.
Yeah, and like also what I mentioned earlier, their way of handling that also with the like final boss is really weird.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you
I
mean
mean,
the
go
part
ahead
where
and
he
talk about that.
kills your love
Don't
interest?
have whoever like you end up with, they take them out of your party for the final boss fight.
Yeah, you don't
which
get
is
to
a
use them.
truly baffling decision.
Because by having these relationships, these characters unlock cool new abilities, and it's like, why? So I'm not going to use the cool tools. That the whole point of
Yeah.
having a relationship system, similar to like Persona, is like, oh, I get to use these cool things, right?
Yeah.
And
but
now you don't get to do that on the
no,
final
you don't.
boss. So
You don't.
but
Yeah.
still a cool game, still a cool system. Like
Yeah.
I think that the only other thing that I hated, I know we talked about it, but like the quick time events, some of those,
weirdly demanding.
yeah, some of the dodge commands are like fighting game length,
Or it's like 7 inputs in a row.
and it's like up, left, up, X, right, up, like just like what am I doing here? This isn't a rhythm game.
Yeah, there's the algorithm ones, they'll just mash a button ones, which are far and away the easiest.
And then the ones that are like almost like fighting game Street Fighter combo length of like,
Yeah.
if you want to dodge, you got to hit like
Yeah.
12 button prompts.
Yeah.
in quick
No, it's
succession.
Stop the magic
and
lock.
It's a pretty tight time for that. But yeah, do we want to do we have anything else we want to say? Anything else about the story before I pull up these here rankings?
I just want to acknowledge the phrase "destroy the aquariums and actuate the retribution" because it was a phrase that made me laugh incredibly hard, and it's been stuck with me since I beat it.
Yeah, we need to destroy the aquariums and actuate the retribution. When I go to my local aquarium and I see the axolotl,
and everyone
looks
just starts
at me
saying
with those
that
eyes.
phrase so much.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to actuate the retribution, of course, or stop them from actuating the retribution.
Yes.
Also, like, because it uses terms like Yggdrasil and that type of stuff, maybe one of the more shoehorned uses of Norse mythology
terminology
in a JRPG.
That's just JRPGs. They found some cool sounding Norse words and they shoved them in.
It's on par with like Etrian Odyssey of like, oh right, this technically is like the post-apocalypse Norse.
We love a world tree in this house.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the rankings. You can find our list of rankings at bit.ly/OTDErank. Our number 1 game is Might and Magic 6: The Mandate of Heaven. Number 2 is Genso Suikoden the First. Number 3 is Xenosaga Episode 1. When I told people about this list, they went, "Really? Those are your top 3?" And I said, "Yeah, listen, those have the early podcast bias." Our bottom 3 are...
I'll stand by those. I'll stand by.
But I'll still stand by Might and Magic 6.
Might and Magic. No, screw you. Suikoden 1 is a good time.
Yeah, it is. It's 15 hours. It's a vertical slice of good art JRPG.
What? Xenosaga 1 is a good time.
It's
all of you fucking like
crazy.
Xenoblade Chronicles people, if you haven't played at least Xenosaga Episode 1, you are missing out. Monolith.
The weird anime horseshit didn't start
of their powers.
with Xenoblade.
Yeah, if you're gonna tell me about how excited you are about Xenoblades coming to Switch 2, shut up and play Xenosaga Episode 1.
Let me tell you about Cosmos.
She shoots a laser beam from her belly button.
Xenosaga 1 again. I haven't played it in so long.
She's an anti-gnosis weapon.
There's the salmon poster that's like weird. There's like gotcha mech battle systems. Game is good. Monolith used to be weird, and I realize that. And anytime
they still are, but now now they're popular and weird.
But
and thus...
remember when what's his bucket ripped his head off to
when Albedo rips his head off,
to torture Momo.
Yeah. See,
remember when
that's good Jerpaga.
Russian guy got cucked by his fucking wife, and then he had to like tell us about it in a 15-minute soliloquy about how we should, God damn.
That I don't remember.
Great.
There's a whole bit with a side character, involving his wife leaving him. It's a whole thing. Anyway,
gotcha. Seeing Grandia 2 at number 5, just also, I was going to say, puts a smile on my face.
Grandia 2 is a fucking great game.
I fucking love that game so much.
Man, maybe the best flesh dungeon, final dungeon, flesh final
top
dungeon
tier
you've ever played.
JRPG flesh dungeon.
Boy, there's some real bangers on this list.
Yeah.
Remember when Volmar was a JPEG?
Yeah.
Yes,
we
I
only
do.
play the highest quality video games like Ancient Rome and Power of Darkside. And yes.
And we play some real garbage. Let's read the bottom 3.
Yeah, and the bottom 3 are Unlimited Saga, Hoshiwo Miru Hito, and Descent to Undermountain. Shoutouts to Cassidy.
God.
I see also Garfield Royal Adventure.
Yes, yes,
So,
we
it's
messed around
real.
with J2ME emulation.
Hey, J2ME emulation. Shockingly good.
Shockingly there.
All right, where do we start?
I would say this is a top 20.
Okay. Do you think that this is better than Fire Emblem 1?
1? Yeah, I do.
Actually it is. It's better than Gothic.
I mean, sure. Only because you hate Germany.
Braden, this game was better than Gothic.
I think I might have to
Braden?
defer on a lot of this because
Braden.
I have not played
Braden.
most of this list.
Yeah.
Braden.
Yeah.
Braden, it's better
Fine.
than Gothic.
Fine. I'll let you say it's better than
Wait,
Gothic.
no. What's the argument that you think that Gothic is better than?
Why do you my people? Not the Mormons, the Germans.
Braden. Braden.
Gothic is so weird, man. I'd finish that game. I mean, I also finished this game. So, okay, fine.
It's better than Ultima 4.
I would rather play it than Ultima 4. It doesn't have the importance factor, but yeah. Is it better than Disco Elysium? I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say I think the knife fight is this better than Ogre Battle 64, but I'm willing to say
I don't think this is as good as Disco Elysium. Listen,
Okay.
I've said my piece about how I feel about some of Disco Elysium's writing and how self-satisfied it is on occasion. But no, Disco Elysium's good. And silly and weird. So if you don't have any more objections, let's put this as our new number 18. Congratulations to Riviera, the Promised Land.
Well, Braden, I guess this leads us to the discussion of what is the next entry in Summer of Sting, because I know what it is, and it's a doozy.
We're gonna play Baroque.
Oh.
We're gonna drag Jeff Rude out of his northern hole and force him to play Baroque with us.
I think every one of us is going to play a different version.
Yes, we are
Jeff,
all playing different
Jeff has
versions.
said that he's going to play the Saturn version.
No, he's playing the Wii version.
Oh, okay.
I'm playing the Saturn version.
I'm playing the PS1 version, and you're playing the Saturn version.
Yes.
So we have a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. I think it'll be fun. And yeah, I don't think. Do we have any more housekeeping?
Subscribe, like, tell your friends about us.
Tell your friends about Off the Deep End. We're still on the hook to play Raven's Cry when we get enough.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah, that
not only Raven's Cry, the version of Raven's Cry that got pulled. Because we found the ISO ROM.
We have some friends.
Yeah.
With some ISOs of that original version of that game that you cannot purchase anymore. And you know, see what happens when a video game unravels in front of you.
The code will break in front of our eyes.
And so will my heart. Yeah, so thanks for coming on, Gabriel.
It was a good time.
Yeah, do you have any you want to plug your stuff again?
Yeah, sure. I stream at on Twitch at GabrielCantor VT and on YouTube at the same name. I have 3 years of VODs over there. If you want to watch someone play through literally every Sonic game, I've got you covered.
I know a guy who's played through some Sonic games.
mostly in one sitting for each game.
If you wanna see me get increasingly angry at Sonic Heroes, I think I archived those streams.
I have a similar archive for Sonic Heroes. As someone who I would like,
you and I should compare notes. Maybe.
I think is more forgiving of a lot of Sonic than probably a lot of people. Like, I came out of that experience liking far more of the Sonic games than I didn't. Sonic Heroes kind of drove me insane.
Sonic Heroes is a barely functional piece of trash.
Specifically, the Dark Story casino stage.
Mm-hmm.
In comparison, in comparison,
Whoa.
Sonic 06 is so broken that it wraps around being funny.
Yes, Sonic 06 is funny. This is also why I made a tier list after all of that, and Sonic 4 Episode 1 is the worst Sonic game, and I will stand by that to my dying breath. Because that game's not even funny. It's just boring.
No.
But yeah, there's that. I was 100%ing all the Kingdom Hearts games, which I might actually get back to at some point soon.
I thought about 100%ing Kingdom Hearts too.
Yeah. I just did all the Platinum Trophy stuff, and then also actually played the DS games for the first time since they came out, pretty much. Which was actually pretty fun. And then all I actually have left to play is 3. So I'll get to that at some point.
You have my condolences.
Yeah, I like 3, I think, more than a lot of people.
Plus, there are parts of 3 I like.
Plus, it has the one boss fight I've never actually beaten. So that'll be a fun thing to try to do on stream. Because, boy, that last DLC fight.
I never played the Remind stuff, so now is the time.
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts has never been more relevant.
Yep. For maybe both good and bad reasons. But.
Yep.
Oof.
You can find me on Twitch at Arbitrary Water. Unlike Gabriel, I'm not very consistent with archiving my VODs, but you can watch me get really mad at Star Fox Zero if you find Arbitrary Water VOD on YouTube.
We have so many similar VODs.
Yeah. You can find Chris at Zombie Pie on the Twitch. We found
Go
some
ahead and
real
say
banger FMV
you think
adventures.
I play nothing but the worst things ever?
And then you find, what are they called? The ones in New Mexico.
Oh, right. Like FMV games that are actually good.
Shockingly good FMV detective games set in New Mexico.
Yeah, the Santa Fe murder mysteries.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think that's a podcast. It's been a hot minute since I've had to actually record one of these. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you at home. Thank you to my co-host and guest once again. And remember, there's no such thing as cheating in a single-player game. Also, thanks to Super Sex 420 for the theme of the song. You can find them on Bandcamp. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.